Number 16, which is the correct graph? So it's going to be easiest if we move this into slope-intercept form. I'm going to do that by subtracting the 4x from each side. And then I have to divide by 3. So y is equal to negative 4/3 x plus 4. This tells me my y-intercept is a positive 4. So if I look at my graphs, this one has a positive 4. This one does not. This is down at negative 3, so this one is wrong. This one has a y-intercept at 5, so this one is wrong. And this one has a y-intercept down here at negative 3, so this one is wrong. The only graph with the correct y-intercept is A, so that's going to be my solution. If I want to double check and check my slope is negative 4/3. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. That's correct. On your exam, remember, you might have two that have the correct y-intercept, so you'd have to look at the slope also. Number 17. Indigo bought new clothes. The number of shirts she purchased, X, cost $8 each, and the number of pairs of shorts she bought, Y, cost $11 each. She spent $46. So each shirt, if a shirt is X, the money she spent on shirts would be 8X. Shorts are Y, and they each cost 11. So 11 times Y would tell me how much she spent on shorts. She spent a total of 46. So we're going to set that equal to 46. 8x plus 11y equals 46. Which relation represents the function y minus 1 is equal to negative 2 times x minus 4? Remember, that part tells us our slope, so we need a slope of negative 2. This equation is in point-slope form. This equation is in slope-intercept form. So if I want to see if they match each other, I'm going to have to take my point-slope form, and I'm going to have to distribute, and then I'm going to have to get y by itself. So I have to add 1, and I get y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. So that does match. This is a select all, so we have to check the other ones too. This equation says, this table says we have these x values and these y values. If I want to figure out the slope, I can calculate the slope by using my slope formula. 1 minus 3 over 4 minus 3. I get negative 2 over 1, so my slope does match. I'm wanting to see if the y-intercept is the same. Is my y-intercept negative 9? So if my slope is negative 2, I could do this a few different ways. I could figure out my pattern. Let's see. No, let's not do it that way. That way it's going to be more complicated. Let's do this. If I know my slope's negative 2, I can plug that in. My table gives me x and y values. I'm going to plug in a 3 for x, and I'm going to plug in a 3 for y, and figure out what my b is. So 3 is equal to negative 6 plus b. I'd have to add 6 to both sides, and I get 9 is equal to b. So 9 is equal to b matches, so this one's going to work too. Alright, from this graph, if I look at my graph, this has a b of 3, so I know this one is wrong, because my b is supposed to be 9. Next, number 19. We have a line of best fit. For a line of best fit, it goes through the basically the center of the spread of data. We should have some points above the line and some points below the line, and you might have some that actually go right through the line. If we look at our graph, we can see that our B right here is 35. It's a positive 35, so I can cross out choice C and choice D because these have negative b's. If I'm looking at my line, I want to figure out the slope. This one has a negative slope and this one has a negative slope, so I know that's definitely negative because it's going down. I want to pick out a point that would help me estimate what my slope is. So it looks like it almost goes through this point right here. If I counted, this would be down 5 and over 12. That means A is going to be my correct choice. Number 20. What does the y-intercept tell you about this situation? So this y-intercept is almost at 80. It says resting heart rate, hours of exercise per week. So this would be 0. If I exercise 0, my heart rate would be 80. It says the average resting heart rate goes down the more a person exercises each week. That's correct, but that does not tell me about the y-intercept. The next one says the average resting heart rate of someone who exercises 1 hour per week. Well, 1 hour per week would be here. That's not the y-intercept. C, the number of hours a person exercises per week. The y-intercept does not tell me the hours. The y-intercept tells me the heart rate. D, the average resting heart rate of someone who exercises 0 hours per week. That is the correct answer. Number 21. Which of these scatter plots has a good line of best fit? So a line of best fit has to have some points above the line and some points below the line, and you might have some going right through the line. If we look at our choices, D is definitely wrong because all the points are above the line. C is definitely wrong because almost every point is above the line. So now we just have to look at A and B. Okay. We do have some points above and below both of these lines. But if I were to fit the line to try to get through the same trend, I would want my line for B to go something like that. This doesn't have the right slope. This one goes right through the middle set of the points, so A is the best one. Number 22, based on the scatter plot and line of best fit, how many emails does a 30-year-old receive per day? So 30-year-old is going to be right here. This would be 30. So if I follow this up to where it hits this line, I want to go over here and see where does it touch over here. So it touches somewhere close to 20, and it's a little bit higher than 20. So if I look at my choices, 22 would be the closest. Okay, it's an estimate. It might not be perfect, but out of my choices, that's the one I can narrow it down to. Number 23 said, this Mrs. Capistrano said that Henry's line of best fit does not show the trend of data represented in the graph below. Which of these statements best describes what's wrong? We said that the line of best fit needs to have some points above and some points below. Henry's line only has points above. So it's not that the slope is wrong. The y-intercept is wrong, but Henry's line is too low, not too high. The data has no association and should not have a line of best fit. That's not correct because this data goes together. You can tell it trends upwards. D, the slope of the line is correct, but his y-intercept is too low. That would be the correct answer. We basically just need to shift Henry's line up a little bit. Which type of association does the scatter plot show? So these lines in general go down when I read the graph from left to right. Going down from left to right, this tells me it's negative. If it goes up from left to right, that is positive. So we want to say it is definitely not positive. They look like they fit together to make a line, so there is an association, so we don't want to say no association. We have to decide between strong and weak. These are pretty close to making a line, so that's going to be strong. Weak would be if they were scattered out more, but still going down, and not so close to a line. But these fit very close to a line, so that's going to be strong. Number 25. Which graph shows a negative relationship? We have this one going up, that's positive. This is going up, that's positive. So C is going down, that one is negative. Okay, we're going to stop the video here.